Imagine being told you're the most expensive defender in history. £80 million. That's not a transfer fee, that's a spotlight, and one that never switches off. When Harry Maguire joined Manchester United from Leicester in 2019, the expectation was clear. Be the next Vidic, the next Ferdinand, the rock to rebuild a crumbling defence. And at first, he looked the part. He even wore the captain's armband within 6 months. But here's the thing about record fees. They don't just buy ability, they buy scrutiny, pressure, and a continuous, real-time re-evaluation of performance. Every misplaced pass, every awkward turn, every lapse in concentration isn't just a mistake. It's a headline. It's another note to jot down when building a definitive case. As far as career ups and downs go, this is an absolute roller coaster of a journey. This is episode 4 of Respect the Name with Harry Maguire.
Maguire! And he has won it! Harry Maguire at the back post. Maguire! Magnificent equalising goal from Harry Maguire.
Before he became the world's most expensive defender, Maguire was the local lad, academy product, breaking into the Sheffield United first team as a teenager, and not just breaking in by the way, but thriving. By 19, he was already racking up over 100 appearances in League One, featuring in the Team of the Year 3 seasons in a row. That's not a fluke, that's consistency, toughness, and a footballing education against strikers who'd kick lumps out of you on a Tuesday night. His move to Hull in 2014 looked like a step up, but it wasn't smooth. Loan spells at Wigan, bench minutes in the Premier League. For a while, it seemed like Maguire was destined to become a bit of a journeyman defender. Solid, but unspectacular. But then came Leicester City. Signed for £12 million in 2017, he slotted straight in, becoming the Foxes' rock at the back. He was big, brave, deceptively good on the ball, and crucially, he had an eye for those surging runs out of defence that got fans off their seats. And just in time too, because Gareth Southgate was watching, and in England, they were, well, in need of someone at the back, exactly in Maguire's mould.
Harry, first of all, congratulations. This is a big thing for you. How did you feel when it happened?
Yeah, obviously delighted. When you're a young boy growing up, you always dream about playing for your country, and I've been given the opportunity to come here and try and prove myself.
When the Three Lions went to Russia for the 2018 World Cup, Maguire wasn't just on the plane, he was starting. Nobody knew it then, but this was about to be the tournament that transformed his career and his reputation forever. Nobody expected England to go very far, and nobody expected Harry Maguire to become a national hero. But from the very first game, he looked like he belonged. Everything he showed at club level translated perfectly into international football. Game after game, his confidence grew along with the teams. They were really onto something. It was all leading up to his big moment. The moment that sealed his cult status, the World Cup quarter-final against Sweden.
Welcome to the quarter-final of the World Cup of 2018.
60 minutes gone, Ashley Young swings in the corner.
Kane, Stones, now they break. And it's headed firmly in! Harry Maguire got his head to it! If one Harry doesn't get you, the other one will!
England 1-0. The image of him charging away, fists pumping, face red, it became the photo of the summer. Suddenly, Maguire wasn't just Leicester's centre-half, he was the bruising face of England's new generation. But it wasn't just the goal, it was the way he threw himself in front of everything, using that massive head of his for just about every clearance and carrying the ball out of defence like a man twice as confident as anyone thought he was. Fans loved him, pundits loved him, and back home the memes started flying. The famous photo of him leaning over the barrier chatting to his girlfriend, that shot of him riding an inflatable unicorn in the swimming pool. Slabhead became a nickname of affection, and his song was chanted at pretty much every England game for years. Off the back of that World Cup, Maguire's stock skyrocketed. By 2019, Manchester United came calling, breaking the transfer record for a defender to sign him for £80 million, £5 million more than Liverpool had paid for Virgil van Dijk. The pressure was enormous. But at the time, it felt like the perfect move. England's breakout star anchoring the defence of the country's biggest club. It felt like a throwback to the Fergie era, where the league's best up-and-comers were given the biggest platform of them all to shine and become serial winners. Of course, what came next wasn't quite the fairy tale. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat this part, because here's where it gets a little bit messy. Somewhere between 2021 and 2022, Maguire became less of a footballer and more of a punchline. You know the clips, him turning like a bus, tackling his own teammate, the endless compilations on social media. The captain of Manchester United had somehow become a meme, and the cruelty of it was that once the internet decides you're a joke, it kinda sticks. Don't get me wrong, he's the one producing these comical moments on the pitch. The shockers against Leicester, Watford and Liverpool in late 2021 were a real low point. Plus, the arrest in Greece in the summer of 2020 certainly didn't help his reputation or that of English holidaymakers abroad. But the boos at Wembley for England, the jeers in pre-season all over the world, it was brutal. Here's the detail that people often forget. Maguire was still starting most games and he wasn't shying away from the struggle at all. By the time 𝗘𝗫𝗧𝗥𝗔 arrived and committed to a starting lineup at United, Maguire's transformation from captain to bench warmer was in full swing. Raphael Varane and Lisandro Martinez formed the partnership fans had been craving, and Maguire became the odd man out. There were games where he looked lost, stripped of confidence, almost paralysed by the weight of criticism, pundits lining up to write his career's obituary. Rock bottom isn't an exaggeration, and yet, in true testament to his character, the story doesn't even end there. Here is where Harry Maguire surprises people. He didn't leave. Even when West Ham gave him the option to join in the summer of 2023, he didn't sulk. Even when they removed him as club captain, he stayed. He fought, and when injuries hit Man United's defence, suddenly he was back in the team. And you know what? He was good. Not world class, not flawless, but solid, dependable, and the kind of performances that had fans reluctantly admitting that they may have been wrong about him. By the way, a lot of this was in a completely new system as well, with Ruben Amorim's three-man defence. Suddenly, the narrative shifted, from the butt of all jokes to the beginning of his redemption arc. You've got his Player of the Month award in November 2023, the team's FA Cup success in 2024, and then the Europa League quarter-final second leg. Old Trafford, a vibrant April evening in Manchester where a pulsating affair is looking like it's going to penalties after 𝗘𝗫𝗧𝗏𝗏's 120th minute equaliser against Lyon.
Lifts this into 𝗘𝗫𝗧𝗏𝗏. Mainoo takes a touch. 𝗘𝗫𝗧𝗏𝗏! 𝗘𝗫𝗧𝗏𝗏!
That is until added time in extra time. The ball comes in. There's movement at the back post. Harry Maguire's wide frame bursts into view like a runaway train.
Casemiro comes to the edge of the penalty area, stands up the cross. Harry Maguire! Harry Maguire scores!
The leap, the header, the goal, the utter jubilation. Now, despite this, it is difficult, I'd argue impossible, to get away from the fact that Maguire's redemption, if you can call it that, didn't actually influence much else of what was going on at Manchester United during the 24-25 season. I'm sitting here talking about the good moments only for him, but on the pitch, the season was nothing short of a disaster. It was the club's worst ever Premier League finish in 15th, just 42 points, and no European football for the first time in over a decade. However, this is the part where I think there's a small argument to overlook all of it, and here's why. As you'd imagine, during his spells of poor form, Maguire was the one receiving plenty of abuse. He was the one facing critics, being judged over every single minute detail. He almost became the poster boy for United's fall from grace, even if he wasn't directly involved in any particular incident. So when things do start to go a bit better on an individual level, he should be praised on an individual level, just as much as he was singled out for the criticism. And that even if things were crumbling around him, Maguire managed to pull himself together mentally and physically out of a huge career slump. So where does that leave the legacy of Harry Maguire in the footballing world? Statistically, the numbers are respectable. Over 200 appearances for Manchester United, more than 60 caps for England, a European Championship final, a World Cup semi-final, a few domestic trophies, and countless duels won in both boxes. But legacy isn't just numbers, it's perception and complete mental fortitude in the face of abuse and the sort of piss-taking that would break most footballers apart. Maybe that's the real legacy of Harry Maguire. Not the highs or the lows, but the fact that he lived through both and came out the other side, still now playing at the very top level well into his 30s. He's still standing after years of ridicule, and there's something admirable about that. Harry Maguire, respect the name.
Maguire coming in. Oh, Harry Maguire from miles out. 2-2. Harry Maguire stands up the cross. Harry Maguire! Harry Maguire scores!